Hey guys, Rylan Russell here. Today we're going to talk about how I got scammed on Kickstarter, but then I found my very favorite motorized slider that I use every week. Let's go. Alright, so the year was 2017 and I really wanted a motorized slider, but I didn't want to spend, $1,000 on an Edelkrone or a Rhino gear. And so I was just scouring the internet looking for stuff, and I came across this Kickstarter program. I've actually backed two different Kickstarters. One, which is a cable cam that we use every week that actually turned out great, but this other one was called InMotion. So you can see here, in 2017, $247 for the super early bird InMotion slider deal. And man, it looked super legit. It was supposed to carry enough weight. If we look at the campaign, there was $107,000. So they doubled their pledge goal. And so it looked like it was going to be a really neat solution. And, I'm always trying to be a good steward of, the church's money. And so I thought this would be a good option. Waited some more, and never heard anything. Well, every once in a while we'd get, a side story from the guy that was doing this project. And as you can see, there's 323 comments here. And everybody was very ticked off about this. And there was just, there's no repercussions, no way to force people to give you your money back. That's part of Kickstarter's messed up program. So this is why I will choose never to do a Kickstarter again unless it's a buddy of mine that's doing a music project. All that to say, it was actually a blessing in disguise because I ended up finding, a couple years later, this gem. It's the GVM 48-inch motorized slider. It does automatic panning, and it can loop. It can do time lapse. It's battery powered. You can mount it on tripods, all for the price of $369.99. So we have been using this slider, the GVM 48-inch version motorized slider, since 2019, and it has never failed me. And I was a little worried, a little skeptical, because I've had other sliders before that weren't motorized that even then had issues, a glide track that, it was supposed to be so smooth. I ordered it from Europe and it sucked. You make it work. But this guy, it's not perfect, but for interviews where you're not up close to a subject with the slider, for time lapses, and for us on a weekly basis in our worship services, it adds a whole different dimension without having to have a camera operator. One of my favorite things to do, which I'll show you some clips of it in use now, is to have it off to the side when we're doing interviews. Just to have that second shot where nobody's having to man it. It's just continuously looping back and forth, giving you another nice vantage point, very cinematic looking shot. We love to use this in our worship services. We actually have two of these exact same sliders that we use in different areas of our auditorium. And right now, I just want to break down some of the things that I really love about the slider. So number one, the smoothness. That's the most important thing about the slider, right? Very little micro jitters. If you have this thing on a solid surface or if it's on really good tripods on either end, it will produce really smooth results, even at 100 millimeters on a micro four thirds sensor. So smooth, yay, that's good. Number two is the power options. You can power this with Sony MPF batteries. They actually give you one with the package that you buy, and it will last for hours. Or we run ours off of DC power, and so you don't ever have to worry about the battery running out. So good power options, that's number two. Number three is the ability to have mechanical panning built in. So you can actually align the track that's inside of here on either end, so that way your pan head that's attached will automatically rotate to give you that parallax effect that we all love. So I love that you don't have to program that in. It's a mechanical thing, and it just reproduces it over and over and over perfectly. Number 4, the ability to tripod mount it or have the little legs so you can mount it on a flat surface like I have right here. There's so many times where I take a couple of light stands or a couple tripods and put it up in the air, or have it in a different area of the auditorium, or with the little legs, you can sit it on a tabletop at an interview. It's just really flexible. All right, so there are a few reasons why I absolutely love this slider. Highly recommend it. Links in the description. And yeah, there are some things though that aren't perfect about this slider. The first one is that it is a little noisy. I'll be quiet right now, and it's running at 65% speed, and just listen to it. So if you have that close to an interviewer, you're probably going to hear a little bit of that motor noise. Typically, I'm not this close to someone. I'm across the room and they're on a lapel, and so it's never been an issue. And so I wouldn't worry about the noise, but if a completely silent slider is what you need, this is probably not the guy to get. The second drawback that I would say is actually one of the things that I thought I would love about it, is that it's 48 inches long. It's 4 feet. Sometimes that's just too much. You know, some jobs you really don't need that much movement or that length of a movement. And it can kind of, be a pain to travel with. And so there's other versions that you can get that are a little bit shorter with the same specs. And that's it. That's all that I have bad to say about the unit. This thing can hold up to 44 pounds of weight, so it can hold big cameras. We've put FS100s on it. It'll hold GH5s and stuff like that all day with big lenses on it, no problem. 18 to 35s from Sigma. Canon stuff with L series lenses, no big deal. So if you're looking for something that can really just be a tool that you can use to help give your productions, your worship environments, your side hustle stuff a little extra, this is a great tool to start with. So I can highly recommend this slider. Check it out if this is a tool that you're interested in getting. Links will be in the description. Remember, we can do a lot of great things. Let's do it all for the right reasons. We'll see you in the next one.